Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Chad Franzen. Let's take a look at the update here. The good news is, first of all, we're going to get some much warmer weather on the way coming up for the short term. We're also going to get some much needed rainfall, and that's going to arrive going into tomorrow. But take a look where we should be. Average high this time of year is 65 as of today. Those average highs will continue to climb into the low 70s toward the end of May. We may see a couple of chances here for a couple of 70-degree readings on the 7-day forecast. But overall, this is going to be better noted this week for the change from the frostiness and the cool and clammy conditions that we've had so far in May. Now, I'm not going to rule out, again, a small chance for some frost in the Northwoods by the middle of this week. First thing first, let's take a look. May temperatures so far for the month, about 6 degrees below the average. Today, we're going to be probably about 4 or 5 degrees below average, and they will be a little bit above that for Tuesday, probably neutral on Wednesday, and then warmer than normal conditions for the end of the week. By the time we get around to next week at this time on Monday, May 18th, our seasonal temperature for the month will probably only be a degree or two behind for the season. One thing that's been working against us is how cold it's been at night, and not only is it working against the seasonal averages, when you have temperatures in the lower to middle 20s to start with, obviously frost and freeze is a big issue, and that's why the National Weather Service has been issuing a plethora, if you will, of frost advisories and freeze warnings over the better part of last week. Again, I think we're done with it for the time being for now, but I'm not going to rule out early Wednesday morning, maybe some frostiness across the Northwoods. We'll talk more about that in a second. Today's high in the upper 50s. Tomorrow we're going to get a quick warm up. Should be either side of 70 tomorrow as the showers clear in the morning hours, but that 70-degree reading or close to it will be a short-lived thing as we'll get a breezy and cooler pattern just temporarily on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, going into the weekend, seasonal temperatures are finally here and going to stick around for quite a while, and more showers and storms on the way for the end of the week. Latest Wisconsin fire danger report. This is where we're still going to have issues, even with some rainfall on the way for tomorrow. I don't anticipate many counties in our area anyway dropping below the high danger category, so please be very careful out there. The humidity values right now going into the afternoon in that 35 to 40% range. Not as bone dry as last week where we had humidity values in the mid-afternoon in the 20% range, but still very dry for this time of year. Clouds breaking up across parts of the Northwoods. It's turned into a very nice suntastic day across most of central and north-central Wisconsin. Northwoods, as mentioned, clouds breaking up there, but overall we're on our way into the 50s for highs today and maybe some low 60s. Temperatures after a cool start this morning in the low 40s in the Northwoods, where we started in the lower 20s. And this time of year, especially with dry air in place, flipping the temperature 30 to 40 degrees from morning to afternoon, not a big deal in Wisconsin. Even with the cooler kind of weather pattern that we've had, we're going to flip things around pretty quickly to the 60s today, upper 50s, low 60s. And this is after a cool start this morning. Wausau started at 29, Chicago 43, International Falls started at 19, and here's our cold front coming in from the west that'll be bringing us our chance for showers on the way for tomorrow. And this cold front actually will have some warmer temperatures along with it because of the gap in the cloud cover coming up behind it going into tomorrow afternoon. 54 in Chicago, 53 in the Twin Cities. Already 64 before the lunch hour in Sioux Falls or Rapid City, South Dakota. Temperatures there a couple degrees warmer compared to yesterday at this time. And our departure from normal map for most of our area in the upper Midwest, we're looking at above normal temps. The exception, Wednesday, Wausau, more so Chicago and Detroit. You can see where that cooler pattern is going to kind of move and slide into lower Michigan over the next couple of days. Planner today, we'll call it suntastic. Temperatures are below the seasonal average. So with all the sunshine, again, it's suntastic, not suntabulous. Highs today, upper 50s to low 60s. And rain chance really greatly increasing tomorrow morning in particular. Small chance in the afternoon, more showers on the way by Friday going into the weekend. So tomorrow morning, early in the morning, the first round of showers and a few rumbles of thunder. I think most of this clears out toward the mid-morning hours. And with that instability created because temperatures do get back to the upper 60s and low 70s and a little sunshine in the afternoon, after 4 o'clock tomorrow, I anticipate a handful of showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder. This in the afternoon would be more so confined to north of Highway 29. Expect the rainfall, boss. It's not much. If we got a couple stronger storms, we may see some rainfall totals closer to a quarter or maybe a little more than a quarter of an inch. But for right now, couple tenths of an inch at best. We're going to take any little bit we can get. We certainly do need the rainfall. As we mentioned, that high fire danger still exists across Wisconsin. Tomorrow morning showers, brief break in the afternoon, highs in the upper 60s in Wausau, low 70s southward. Northwoods will be trapped in the lower 60s, and there will be that wraparound threat for a handful of showers or thunder showers in the mid to late afternoon hours for tomorrow. There's no real severe weather threat in Wisconsin for the next couple of days. And then going into the end of the week, breezy and warmer conditions on Thursday. Friday right now, we're just calling for more of the garden variety showers and storms. We'll be watching and tracking that very closely and give you the first alert heads up if that were to change in the form of any kind of a severe weather potential. Doesn't look that way for Friday, certainly not at this point, but I get a lot of things are going on. Now we're in the middle of May, and in Wisconsin, it's either road construction season or winter time. So obviously we were trying to get outdoors and get things done. This weekend, it's going to start off with showers and storms on Friday night. Again, not much of a severe weather threat as it looks right now. Beautiful day coming up on Saturday, a little breezy. And then Sunday, we'll be looking at our next round of showers and storms. And again, the verdict's still out on that. Severe weather potential very much non-existent at this point. But a first alert heads up, we'll be watching that closely because all it takes is a little sunshine, a little break in the action, and then things could certainly turn into more of a strong storm setup. So that is what we are watching for the time being. Then as we get into the end of the week, weekend, and early next week, our cooler weather pattern starts to break up. Wind out of the northwest kind of gets replaced by west-southwesterly wind as we get into next week, and that'll be a warmer wind and therefore a warmer weather pattern coming up going into early next week. So, having said that, minus the frost from this morning, there's a small chance early Thursday morning. Wednesday night, the clouds break up. I think we'll slide back to the mid-30s. If we got frost potential for Wednesday, it'll be confined to those lower lying areas, and especially for areas up north, it'll be very short-lived. We will not stay below the freezing mark very long outside of the city limits. So I think from here on out, we shouldn't have much of a frost potential, especially once we get around to this weekend. But as mentioned, we get those shower and storm chances on Friday, then again going into Sunday, and overall some milder temperatures on the way for a good portion of next week. So having said that, our first alert heads up, the concerns we have right now, high fire danger. That's first and foremost, that is paramount. Please be aware of this going into the next several days. We get some showers on the way tomorrow, mainly in the morning hours, but there will be a break in the action. We'll quickly warm up into the upper 60s Tuesday, and then a little wraparound shower or thunderstorm chance from Wausau northward Tuesday toward sunset. Cooler day Wednesday, breezy and cooler, highs still in the upper 50s. Thursday morning, in particular in the Northwoods, that's where I'd be maybe slightly concerned that we could get a small chance for a little more frost. I think we're really kind of past that point after this morning. And now as the milder weather rolls in, better chance for soaking rainfall Friday afternoon and night, and again for Sunday afternoon and night. Verdict's still out on the possibility of severe weather. I don't anticipate it for either one of those events. But if we get some sunshine in there, that could change things up, especially that Wednesday or Friday afternoon and Sunday late afternoon time frame. But having said that, we need the rainfall. I know at this point in the season, we count the months for summer in Wisconsin on well less than one hand, probably only about 2 or 3 digits. And I know that weekends are at a premium. And I would never really want to wish for rain on a weekend where so many people are trying to get outdoors and stuff like that. If there's any consolation to the rain coming up on Sunday, it has been very dry over Wisconsin. Believe it or not, even after almost 9 inches of precipitation in April, record-setting, it has been very dry so far for the month of May. And, of course, now, especially with how nice the weather has been and we're past frost season, people got to get out in the fields, get crops planted, gardens going, all that stuff. We do need the rainfall. We get a little bit tomorrow, most areas under 1/4 of an inch, a little better chance of 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain on Friday, and a better chance of a 1/2 inch of rain on Sunday. But that's a long ways out, so keep that in mind. And until that time, that fire danger does remain high. So got to be careful out there with any kind of spark. Things could go up very quickly. Hate to see that happen to anybody and anyone in this area. Thanks for logging on this Monday. It is May 11th after Mother's Day. Hope you all had a great Mother's Day holiday yesterday. It was awesome to spend some time with my mom. Took her out to lunch. had her haircut in the morning. It was a nice day to kind of stay cozy and hang out with mom and kind of relax a little bit for the afternoon. As we know, this time of year, we start getting into graduation season. High school sports are really in full swing, getting ready to end in some cases. And now you've got travel season starting up for a lot of the area teams. So now we're making this transition very quickly into a summer type situation for outdoor activities. And people want to go camping, all that fun stuff. This forecast, temperature-wise, is much better than what it was just a week ago. But again, got to be careful with the dry conditions. I don't want anything to happen to anybody out there. So Wisconsin fire danger still in the high category for today, and likely will probably stay there tomorrow, even with some light rain, or at least go back up into high category Wednesday and Thursday before a little break in the action coming up on Friday. Thanks for logging on this Monday. Have yourselves an awesome, fabulous day. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast on the way out. Hope you all have a great day.